Nappy Dreamer.
And I'm Kia Blaine.
And we are the Melanin Mindset. What's good, everybody, and welcome if it's your first time viewing. Welcome back if you're returning. I'm the Nappy Dreamer.
And I'm Kia Blaine.
And we are the Melanin Mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all listen, if this is your first time viewing, again, welcome. Make sure you subscribe to the Melanin Mindset via YouTube at themelanatedmindset.live. Make sure you turn on your notification bells, give us a thumbs up, share this content, comment down below, all of that. And then on Facebook, make sure that you follow us at the Melanin Mindset and find us on Instagram and Twitter at Melanin Mindset _. We're also out on TikTok at the Melanin Mindset. Now, friend, I didn't say this beforehand, but I do absolutely want to give a shout out to the rewatchers, right? The people who watch the stream after the stream already went live, and we know you exist. So I figured we should give you a shout out at the beginning of the episode so that you see that we do really care. Okay, so thank you so much to those who watch the playback if you don't catch us live, and those live viewers too. Those viewers.
Yeah, let's get them around. Get them around too. Get them around too.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm on.
All right, friend. So, do you want to kick us off or go forth?
This seems like more your baby, but
okay.
I'm good with the kickoff. So today, as the title implies, we are talking about colorism, the difference between racism and colorism, and how it's affecting us as a people and just over time, and how we could do better, because we should not still be having this conversation.
Facts.
Anyway, we start with a good definition around here. So I'm going to define racism and define colorism so you guys can know the difference. So racism, definitions up on the screen, characterized by or showing prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism against a person or people on the basis of their membership to a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized. And colorism, hey, Linda, is prejudice or discrimination against individuals with dark skin, typically among people of the same ethnic or racial group. So the difference is obvious. Racism happens across different, what's the word they use? Ethnic group or racial group, and colorism happens within people of the same race or ethnic group. So
right.
I don't know, like, friend, have you experienced colorism? Like, are there any moments in your life that really stand out where you realize colorism was a thing?
So I'm gonna say no, because I've always been that awkward in between brown. Like, I didn't quite fit with the dark skinned girls, and I didn't quite fit with the light skinned girls. So I was just kind of like in the middle. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I feel like in hindsight, I see that. Like, I cannot. I remember the first time I really have a strong memory of colorism is with my oldest daughter, because she's dark skinned. And she was telling me certain things. And I was like, people really do that? And she goes, Mom, you don't know because you're light. And I'm like, but I'm not. I'm brown.
Listen, I have always been, I identify as dark skinned, and it's always been my story. And anybody who knows me knows I'm hashtag team dark skin all day. Okay.
But clearly we're that in between. We're the in between color. So
whatever. So I don't fit in one side or the other. But yeah, no, like you said, I did see the dark skinned girls used to hear things that aren't really, in hindsight, like you said, in hindsight, it's not really offensive. But it's like, well, thank you. Like,
what wasn't offensive?
Like, some of the things they would call the dark skinned girls, like they used to make like African jokes at the dark skinned girls for being dark skinned and stuff like that. And I'm like, bruh.
You see, now I don't remember. Now I can say, now I'm gonna take you back, because I do remember the boys. I do remember them teasing the boys. Because come on now, I'm an 80s baby, grew up in the 90s. Light skin was definitely in. So it was almost like if you wasn't light skinned, they did used to tease the darker boys. But I didn't realize it was such a big thing amongst women until I moved to Florida. Once I moved to Florida, oh yeah,
Mm,
definitely got a high dose of it,
yeah, they definitely ostracized the dark skinned girls. That's a fact.
which is so weird to me. Like
Yeah.
I can't wrap my head around. In high school, there were always light skinned group and the darker girls. That's crazy.
Yep. Oh, that's one. They used to call them African booty scratchers. And yes, I
Yes.
went ahead and said it.
Yeah.
They say all kinds of horrible things about these dark skinned kids. And it's just like, but why? Like, they'd have all the kinds of, like, you're not allowed to play hide and seek with us because
Mm-hmm.
you'll always win if the lights is out, da 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 da. All kinds of terrible things they used to say to like the dark skinned kids. So, yeah, no, I didn't experience it firsthand, but I can definitely say I saw where
Hmm.
it was going
Mm-hmm.
on.
I'm sitting here like I'm trying to like really recollect in my mind, like, was I really just that green? And I guess I was.
Mm.
I was just really that green as a kid.
So,
Mom do better.
well, friend, you let out with colorism. We're going to circle back to that one. So, I'm going to point out a couple of facts about racism. So, according to a report by the Pew Research Center, 64% of Black Americans believe that discrimination against them is a major problem in society today. So, I want to ask, do you believe that discrimination is still, and yes, I'm asking this from a blank place. I have my own feelings, but do
Mm-hmm.
you feel like discrimination is still a prominent concern for today?
Mm-hmm.
In what ways?
In way, especially in the workplace,
Mm.
especially in a lot of these workplaces, and it could be where I'm at. You guys know where I live. It's like slavery just ended last week. Um,
Don't you mean started back up last week?
it ended last week, and now we're in Jim Crow time now. But
Ooh,
definitely is. There is definitely this and I don't know. Does that fall under yeah? It falls under racism, where it's like almost when they see an affluent person of color, they're in shock. What are you doing here? How are you eating here? Or how are you working here? When they ask for the manager and the manager comes around but a pecan brown, they're confused. So yes, I definitely still see it. And it's like, so like they can't even hide it. It's just blatant. Like, was there anybody else I could talk to? No, but we all brown up in here.
mm,
There was this time I was out with my sisters. I'm the darker one. They was going to attack this man because he said, "Why am I so dark if I'm their sister?" Oh wow. Oh yeah, they didn't catch them hands. No, my aunties.
mm,
I know my aunties.
mm.
Yes, but they have to be stronger and pay attention, so it makes us work double times, 7 times harder.
That's facts. Double
Mm.
it 7 times harder. That's facts. I can attest to that. That I feel like I do definitely work a lot harder or put a lot more effort into the task that I do.
And why though?
I don't know. I just feel like he said it's not recognized as quickly. Like
So
I
it's almost
really
like
have
you
to
have to
go.
work harder to prove yourself.
Yeah, it feels like I got to go like you go above and beyond. Some people like you come to work and you're just like, yeah, I'm there to show out just because you're capable. But like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's beyond my capability. Like it's like I'm capable, but I'm doing a little extra, outside of exceeding expectations. Like let me think of how to say this the right way. So I might do a task and do exceptionally well at a task,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just my work ethic.
Yeah.
But there are times where I feel like my exceptionally well may not be well enough. So I need to put even more into it. So I might try to accomplish 3 or 4 things or
Mm-hmm.
tasks, you know what I mean? As opposed to knowing that one task a week is cool. I'm going to try to get 2 or 3 done, to ensure that, I am exceeding, you know what I mean? The
Mm-hmm.
expectation or the purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh man, that is so annoying when you hear you speak so well.
I just had a thought
Hmm.
because you said that the way you said that, like you put in that extra effort in an almost in an attempt not to be almost to be recognized as equal with your peers that may not be of the same racial ethnic group. But do you ever think that maybe it kind of turns them against you? like I know when I was working, and this is why I don't work with people now because I don't have time for all this crap. But anyway, when I was working, I remember like my pass rates were great, my students were happy. You know, everybody wasn't happy, but everybody was satisfied in the manner of like that was a good teacher. I'm glad I'm done. Da 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 da. And I would have my coworker who was non-melanated, who always seemed to pick at the good things I was doing. And then I guess because she would try to mimic it, but it wouldn't, because you can't mimic something I do naturally. She would try to mimic it, and then she would get in trouble for doing XYZ. And then, you know, her superior would be like, well, why did you do that? And then it would be like, well, Blaine was doing that. Yeah, but Blaine did it naturally, and it was a, you know what I mean? You understand what I'm trying to say?
Friend, you
Like
know,
the
I've
way
shared
I teach or the
stories.
type of conversations I would have with my students, it worked to encourage them. But like, okay, I'll give you an example. I had a student bring me a hairstyle. Now, of course, I taught cosmetology. So when they did a hairstyle, you had to bring it to me, show it to me, and I would either say, you need to fix this, maybe this needs to be a little softer. You know, I'd give it, critique it. Well, there's one girl, great. She was really good. She was being lazy, and she bought me some crap. Now, I looked at her and I said, now who the heck is going to pay for that? Now, if you don't go back and fix that, I know something. And she just laughed and walked away and went and fixed it. Now, my counterpart, if she had did it, which she might have tried, oh, them students was in the dean's office. They was ready to pop off. And I explained to her, I said, it's because of your delivery. You said it from a hateful place. I know my student, and I knew her abilities, and I knew she was trying me that day. You can't go. I couldn't do that to the new student. I can't. Your first day here, you bring me something, and I'm like, what is that crap? They'll be like, what the heck? I tried you know what I mean? It was a relationship that we had there already. So when I said that to that student knew I wasn't coming from a place of hate. But then now, because she's jealous of my better results, kind of like what you were saying, like you went above and beyond, because I have better relationships with my students, because I have better pass rates than you. Now it's like you want to attack me. You want to look for all the little things I don't do. Oh, she had an attitude when she came in. Oh, she didn't speak to me. I don't have to speak to you. All I got to do is make sure these students pass their cosmetology license test.
Listen, friend, I have a similar situation or story where I basically said I knew someone who had aspirations of being management. So, you know, I deal in education as well. So I say to them, because they came in late, like 3 times.
Yeah.
And I'm like, when they came in, they were like, good morning, what's good, miss? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, I don't know who manager you about to be.
That part. Yeah.
I'm like, you gotta beat your employees in here. Like, they looking to you. If they walk in and you ain't here, you know, and I said it to them like that, they gave me a review and they talked about how I made sure I held them accountable. Similar situation for someone else. And they tried to take a jab at a student. And the student gave them a review. But that review was more like they were disrespectful and belittled me and made me feel blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, whoa, you know, and they brought my name up. And I'm just like, whoa. Like, I don't know
exactly
what they're
so it's
talking about.
So that brings me back to what my original question was. Is today July 10th?
Today is July
It's my
10th.
friend's birthday. I just thought about Daniel. I don't know. And this is the first day I moved to Florida. It's my Florida anniversary. I don't know. I just looked at it on the screen. Sorry, I got sidetracked. Anyway, but I said all that to say, like, we go out of our way because we feel like we're at a disadvantage, so we gotta work that much harder to prove ourselves. But do you feel like it also works at a disadvantage because now, you know, our non-melanated counterparts are mad because we're getting praised and getting, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's awkward because, like you said, it's who you are. That's how you come across. That's the person that you are. So in my instance, and even in yours, it's like I'm being authentic in these moments.
Yeah.
So it's like when I'm delivering like that or I'm behaving that way, it's me being authentic in that moment. I'm not doing it as a a jab at a person. Like, that's
Yeah.
sincerely my personality. That's probably the most comfortable version of me that you got. You
Yep.
know,
Yep.
like
Yep.
when I'm sitting up
Absolutely.
there going over the facts and the information and stuff, that's not authentically me. Like,
Mm-mm.
I'm ensure my brain is thinking like impart knowledge, impart knowledge. I said, but when I'm saying stuff to them like that, that came straight off the dome. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like, that was
Mm-hmm.
not premeditated. I'm not annoyed with them being late. I just need you to know that if
I
you
know
keep
what you
being late,
wanted to do, so let me let you know. Well, if you still want to do that, these are not the habits that'll get you there.
that part. Let's see
Period.
here. We got a comment in the chat. Sometimes in the workplace, when you're an overachiever, your coworkers will resent you, and even your supervisor. You know what? You're right. There are some instances where
Mm.
people are suck ups, and then they are disliked.
Yeah.
But me, I think it's me. I'm career minded, so I'm career focused. I'm not trying to impress a particular somebody. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just ensuring that there are no flaws in my work that can be picked apart. So I didn't say it very well the first time. I struggled to get that out the first time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's more or less I am trying to ensure I don't leave that space. Like how she said her non-melanated coworker, it was like, okay, she's getting praises for this. Well, let me look for the flaws.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm doing more to ensure the flaws don't exist. You
Mm-hmm.
get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let's look at the second point right here. It says a study conducted by the National Bureau of Economic Research found that job applicants with white sounding names receive 50% more callbacks for interviews than those with black sounding names. Remember we did ghetto names, friend?
And it's so funny because it's like to say a name is black sounding and then remember all the different names that we went through, like they basically were just Muslim and Arab names, but y'all call them black sounding.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
you know what's funny? I got a funny story about that today. I called my friend from a different number, and you know how non-melanated people ain't answering the number they don't recognize if it's between a certain hours. And so I
Mm.
kept calling her back until she answered, and then she answers, and she was like, "Hello," and I was like, you could turn your not." I said white girl. I was like, "You can turn your white girl voice off. It's just me." I'm like,
I'm done. I'm done.
mm-hmm.
Let's see. That's a true fact. I believe my mother and father named us in that way so we can have better opportunity. Yeah, you all do actually have some, pretty
Oh,
straightforward names.
your mother has purposely told me that she definitely gave you names to give you a fighting chance.
Oh,
She did not want their names. She did not want anybody to look at their names and they immediately be Haitian
mm.
because
And
they're Haitian
see,
American, and they were like, no, they didn't want their names to be identified as Haitian right away.
I got a question, friend. And
Mm-hmm.
this could be just like your opinion entirely. And y'all can chime in too. So, do you believe, likewise, how they said that people with black sounding names were less likely compared to people with white sounding names? Do you think, likewise, that if the interviewer is black or the manager is black, that they're more likely to interview Daishan instead of Derek?
Now that's where our problem is. No, I don't. Because I
Mm,
feel like Tom is more likely to interview John or Jake. But I also feel like Deshaun is more likely to interview Tom and John versus uh, Kareem because of that. That's where we got a problem as people because we don't look out for each other.
mm.
Do you remember that segment where Raven Simone said that, talking about if I was going through resumes and your name is Watermelon Drea, I'm not calling you.
Yeah, Watermelon Andrea.
Like, I was like, does she know her name is Raven? I'm like,
And does she know her middle name is Simone? So yes, to everybody who done said Simone, the girl's name is pronounced Simone
it looks like Simone. I remember seeing that as a
with
kid
the accent on it.
because it
Her
has
name
the
is actually
accent in
pronounced
it.
Raven
I
Simone.
remember as a kid saying, doesn't the little accent mean it goes A? So is her name Simone? And then whoever I was talking to corrected me and said, no, it's Raven Simone. And I was like,
She
okay.
validated it. She did
Mm-hmm.
confirm it, but it's just more acceptable. The Simone was more acceptable, and it's like,
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
sis, get out of here. Your mama, she was creative. So she said,
Mm-hmm.
yes, when I moved to Jersey, Absicon, I'm sorry,
It's
Jersey,
called Absecon.
Absecant.
Mm-hmm.
Absecant.
It's
That's
a city.
fun to say.
Mm-hmm.
I called about a job. They said they were hiring on the spot. When I got there, there was the name. I'm sorry. And the name wasn't what they expected. They said no more hiring.
Yes, because they probably called her in because her name is Mary. Her name is Mary. So they're like, oh, Mary. Okay, let's give Mary a chance. And Mary walked up in there,
Looking like
too
Mona.
tan.
You heard me looking like
Looking like
Mona.
Mona. Mm-hmm.
So listen, the FBI reported that hate crimes in the United States increased by 2% from 2018 to 2019, with the majority reported incidents targeting individuals based on their race or ethnicity. So there
Yeah.
was a 2% increase from that year over the span of a year in hate crimes due to skin color.
Mm-hmm.
So do you feel as though that is still something that's going on? Like I feel like it absolutely is still going on.
Yeah, and then not even just we kind of focus on melanated and non-melanated, but like there was the whole attack on the Asian culture too, like where they were doing a lot of hate crimes there,
Wow.
like defacing their property and their stores and their businesses and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, all of them. And then we have the report by the American Psychological Association that found people of color experience higher levels of stress due to discrimination and racism. Can you attest?
Heck yeah. Yeah.
I looked up and I'm
Yeah.
like
Just be stressed for no reason. Just be nervous for no reason. But we
scared
have
to go
reason.
places.
We
Like
have
for
reason.
real, like being afraid to go certain places at night alone. Wanting like feeling like everywhere you go when you're trying to go have a good time, we need to be in a group because I need
Hmm.
enough people to be able to vouch for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. The United Nations reports that racism and xenophobia have been on the rise globally, which incidents of hate speech, hate crimes, and increasing in many companies. Lord, that was hard to
In
say.
many countries. And you know
Many
what?
countries.
I feel like it's starting to spread because I remember kind of talking about this with somebody who had just moved to this country, and they were kind of shocked at how heavy, like, racism exists everywhere, but it I feel like the way they saw it here made them be like, whoa, shoot, it wasn't that bad back home. Like, like it wasn't that bad. Like somebody might roll their eyes. They ain't about to, you know,
They ain't
the
about to drag you behind a
they,
semi truck or nothing
that
like that.
part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't know.
So, oh wait, we got something in the chat. Sometimes we don't even know that it's stress and anxiety because this is normal. When we, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I
Mm-hmm.
need to finish reading it, but you're right.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. It feels like it's a natural defense that we walk around with all the flipping time. Like I always have my guard up. I'm always trying to mentally and physically protect
And
myself.
that is
Like
exhausting. It's
always
so
having to look around.
exhausting.
Oh my gosh. And it's like I get hit with the 1-2 punch, bro. I'm a female and I'm black. Like, let's be for real. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm worried about the police because I'm black, and I'm worried about weirdos because I'm a female.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like your head is always,
Always
what is it?
guarded.
Always on a swivel.
Yeah, and that
Always.
is a lot of stress and anxiety to walk around always feeling like you gotta be a certain way. You can't just naturally just
Exist.
exist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just naturally existing. So I'm sure y'all are wondering, like, what the heck? Why are these girls talking about racism and carrying on? So listen, we had already said we was gonna talk about colorism, but something happened just recently where Darlene McCoy, a prominent radio personality here in Atlanta, experienced some blatant racism.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I really want to hear y'all thoughts on this. I really, really, really want to hear y'all thoughts. So Darlene McCoy Jackson of V103, she went to a restaurant at the recommendation of her friend. She found out they had veggie cheese steaks. She was like, bet. She always down for a good veggie cheese steak. She looked it up to see what happened, what they had happening, what was going on. It sounded good. So she went. She goes, she places her order after she asked them. And the only question she said she asked them was, what all vegetables do you put on your veggie cheesesteak? She
Mm-hmm.
said he told her. She didn't, I guess there was nothing up at that point. He told her. And
Mm-hmm.
then she gets her receipt after it's time for her to pick up her food. She gets her receipt. She looks at the screen and she sees that homeboy put her name as Darky.
Mm.
We still doing it?
Mm-hmm. Apparently.
So wait,
Wait, where did he put that at?
on the receipt, you ever gone to a
Oh, because you
restaurant
know
where
what?
you
I was
order
just
your food?
picturing, you know how you get your stuff from Starbucks and your name be on it? I was like, did he give her cup and it said Darky?
No, you know how you go to certain little fast food places or whatever, and they ask you for a name for your order,
Mm-hmm.
especially Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A good for it, and then they put your name on the receipt. So she told him her name was Darlene. Homie put Darky on there. When she saw it, she called him out on it, and then homie turns around and tells her, "I heard what you said."
Mm.
She said, "I don't appreciate you using that racial epithet," and that's our next definition. So, Fran, where did it go? If you could put
She
it up.
said, say it again.
She said a racial epithet. So an epithet is a disparaging or abusive word or phrase.
Oh, she couldn't just say racial word.
She had to let him know how
She had
serious
to
it
see.
was.
There you go. There's that whole you being more intelligent. Like, and sometimes, hmm, I can't. I can't say that I am a believer in stooping to your level, but I also feel like sometimes, like she went way above levels of somebody who called somebody darky. So I think her saying it that way probably just fell on deaf ears. It didn't. She didn't.
Mm.
Like he was too stupid to know what that meant, and probably too stupid to even care because you're sitting up there writing darky on a receipt, so you're not an intelligent person. So don't speak intelligent to people. Don't waste it. Don't waste it.
I'm
Talk
so
to them
done.
like they five, like they acting.
I'm done. But she went basically and told him, this is how you spell her name or whatever. He didn't care. He told her, I know what it meant. It was for me. It wasn't even for you.
Mm.
And then she's like, you know what? I want my money back. He tells her, no, she can't have her money back. They don't do refunds. I need you to fix my name on this
But
receipt.
she didn't have her sandwich yet.
No.
See, but she's somebody, so she had to she got to have what she do, girl. Because I'm just
She's
thinking about all the stuff I would have knocked
she's a
over in this.
prominent she's a
I'm just thinking about all
prominent
the stuff that
gospel
would have got
artist.
knocked over in this place.
She's a prominent gospel artist and radio personality. She
Okay.
does the
So she had to have
top
some act right.
yeah, she does the Darlene McCoy and the Nightly Spirit on B103 here in Atlanta.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's Darlene McCoy Jackson. And she basically what she ended up saying was, you know what? You got the right one.
Okay, girl.
So the restaurant she went to was Woody's Cheesesteaks, and that's in Buckhead, Georgia. Buckhead, Atlanta, Georgia.
They still
All
open?
right. Temporarily. Because here's the deal. What she
I'm
did
looking at my
was
phone because I'm about to place an order and don't go pick it up. A big one too.
I can't deal. So listen. So basically, she said, you know what? You got the right one today.
Mm.
Because what he didn't realize was who he was talking to. She was literally, if you don't know who you talking to, was a person. Okay. Because this lady has some substantial influence. So she got on her Instagram and she took the Instagram and she shared. And I'm gonna go ahead and put the link down below later on tonight. So after this episode goes live, I'm gonna put the link so y'all can see her Instagram video. So she basically went in and gave a breakdown, shows the receipt and everything, and then
Wow.
she says, you know what, they got the right one today. And she decides at this point now she's got the NAACP backing her up. She's got a nice legal team backing her up. They have been on all the Atlanta news outlets. It is pure pandemonium in this situation.
Mm.
And was it 2 days ago, the NAACP, as well as her lawyers, released a statement and a communication to Woody's Cheesesteak saying they have 7 days to make a response to them, to allow them to come in and break down diversity, equity, and inclusion and help them understand how to properly handle their different customers of color.
Mm.
Because this man got on the news. This man got on T.I.'s TV station. Okay? Like, I know this Beyonce's internet, but in Atlanta, that's T.I.'s news channel. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
He got on there and said, and it's the most, I'm going to link that down below too. It's the most awkward conversation, friend, because the man is like, we intend to have some understanding for diversity. Yeah.
Wow.
And we'll be working internally. to be sure that inclusivity is our focus in being a
This is
good
the
neighbor.
owner.
The owner.
That was probably the first time he ever heard the words diversity and inclusion.
Listen, it is the saddest news
Hmm.
report. It is the saddest news report. And so he goes through all of that, and then once he goes through all that, he says that the employee had a language barrier, so they were having some difficulty with comprehending what was being asked for. They meant to say darly, not darky, and it was a typo. And so, but the thing is, when she went back to tell him, he was reluctant, not even
Yes.
reluctant, he refused to fix it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how is that a typo,
Because
and
if it
how
was
are
a
you
mistake, you
confused?
just you say I'm sorry and you fix it.
Right. And that's not what he did. He said it wasn't for her, it was for him. So now they are on his neck. And so they have, I believe, like 4 days left now for them to make a response to allow the NAACP to come in, or they about to be dealing with a lawsuit. And the NAACP said they will settle for Homie losing his job. But Darlene
Uh-huh.
said that that's not going to fix it, not the experience that she had. She wants to see them make a sincere attempt at diversity and inclusion and understanding the community they're surrounded by.
Wow.
So yeah, she says she wants to see them make a sincere effort toward understanding the community that they're in.
Hmm.
Yeah. So friend, I had to go ahead and finish that one up because when we come back, we're gonna talk about our problems, and that's colorism. All right, y'all. So we're gonna get into that when we get back. Remember, we're brand ambassadors for Dianu Apparel, everybody. So make sure you're shopping with Dianu Apparel. The link is down in our description below. You will save 15% by just being a listener here with the Melanin Mindset. Stay tuned. We'll be right back, y'all. What's good, Mindset family? The Melanin Mindset is thrilled to announce we are the newest brand ambassadors for Dianu Apparel. Dianu Apparel is a black-owned apparel company that offers trendy African-inspired prints in each and every garment. They're offering our listeners 15% off their purchases just by using promo code Melanin Mindset. There's something for him, there's something for her, and there's even something for the kids. So head right over to dianu.com using the description link down below, or just simply enter Melanin Mindset at checkout and save today. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, everybody. Now, you know it's my favorite juncture in the show where I remind you to share this content. So if you haven't already shared, wherever you are seeing us right now, even if it's the playback, hit that share button, turn on those notification bells, and give this content a thumbs up. All right, you can plug in with us on YouTube at the Melanin Mindset. Back up. www.themelanimindset.live. You can catch us on YouTube live each and every Monday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, as well as Facebook, The Melanin Mindset. We can be found on Instagram and Twitter, Melanin Mindset _ and TikTok at The Melanin Mindset. Now, y'all already know, since y'all not submitting y'all pictures, I got Nick and Naya. I closed as soon as I opened it. There they go. And they cute. Every week it's just as cute. All right. And you can become an official MFer by purchasing your Melanin Mindset t-shirt at themelanimindset.com. Give it up one time for the one time.com. Yes. You can shop themelanimindset.com and get your official MFer tee by simply scanning the code here on the screen, or scan or click the link that's in the chat right now. Okay. Go ahead and click that link that's in the chat, and you too can order your Melanin Mindset shirt and become an official member of the team. Pew, 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 pew.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we left off, we discussed racism and how it's impacting our community, but it's time to come down our alley because, of course, we are the Melanin Mindset, y'all, right? And we're looking to improve us as a people and make sure that we are doing our very best to be the best we can to us. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now, that does not make anyone else obsolete. That does not negate anything that has to do with racism. But I'm going to tell you right now, what do they say, friend? Charity starts at home.
Yes.
Yes, charity starts at home. So we're going to go ahead and come on in. So y'all bring it on in the room because we're going to talk about colorism a little bit. All right, so the first point that we have down here, friend, colorism is actually a form of discrimination based on skin color where individuals with lighter skin tones are given preferential treatment over those with darker skin tones. Have you ever heard of the paper bag test, the brown paper bag test?
Yeah, and I think we talked about it on a previous episode.
We did. We talked about the
Um,
brown paper bag test, how basically they would hold the paper bag up to you. You know, we wouldn't pass. You probably would pass the brown paper bag test.
what are you
I don't know.
talking
Maybe
about? We're the
maybe my
same
foundation.
color.
Friend, we are not the same
We
color.
both Fenty 420. Stop playing. You got a different undertone than I do, but shade wise, lightness or darkness, we the same color.
Anywho.
Mhm.
Friend, have you ever made an adverse comment to someone with darker skin?
Yes,
Even jokingly.
absolutely. You have you met me? I say inappropriate things all the time. But no, like, I can't say I have never done it to somebody that I don't know. It's usually my family that gets the brunt of it.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you're not out in the
No,
street
I'm not out in
hollering.
these streets talking about nobody. No, but it's usually just my family and me. Me being funny or mean. It's really mean. It's not even funny. It's pretty mean. But
Mhm. So for those of you all who may not have seen the episode where we did kind of touch on that a little bit, I'm gonna give you a little bit of understanding. Like it dates all the way back to the days of slavery, where the
mm-hmm.
lighter skinned slaves were indoors, while the darker skinned the
Mm-hmm.
darker skinned slaves, say that 10 times fast, are outside and
Yeah.
they're in the sun and they're sweating and they're doing all of the, hard labor or what would appear to be hard
Yeah, and that's
labor.
the part. Now that I've never like I can't see me treating anybody else differently because of their skin color. Like just like you said, have I ever made a joke about somebody dark? Yes, but I've also made fun of the light ones too. So equal opportunity over here. Everybody gets it.
I'm done. What was her name? Jennifer Lewis, I feel like is her name. Jennifer
um
Lewis, I think is
mhm.
her name. Yeah. She made a comment about how when she was a little girl that her cousins were all so light, light
Mhm.
skin, but she was darker. And
Yeah.
so it's like when they'd have company over, they would parade the lighter kids and tell her to just stay outside.
Oh wow, that's terrible.
Yeah. And so she was like, they thought she was dark, but Jennifer Lewis is not dark. But they said that she was darker, so they wouldn't let her come around. Like when they would show off their kids. You know how people do. People even do that today. All these Instagram baby accounts because you think your baby cute. And so it's like you
Mhm.
bringing your child out, but then the one that you deem as too dark, you know what I'm saying, is the one you
Mm.
don't want to bring around company and family and friends. And that's crazy.
Now you know what's funny? Like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen all of my kids. We over here 50 shades of brown. Every last one of us is a different shade. Um, but my nephew, um, he's of the lighter persuasion. Like he's really much lighter than all the rest of us. And it was so funny. He probably was about 5 or 6 one day, and he was just sitting in the living room. We were all sitting in the living room. I think we was playing a game or something, and he just busts out crying. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? And he says, I want to be brown like my cousins. And I thought it was so cute and the funniest thing. And I said, you're brown, you're just a different shade of brown. And he was like, I'm not, I'm orange. And I was like,
You saw that video that's circulating on social media right now with the little
I
the
said,
little
you more
Hispanic
like
girl.
Brello. You like brown yellow. You Brello.
I'm so done. Have you seen the video with the little Hispanic girl that's circulating around social media?
Yeah.
Where they call
Uh-huh.
her Blanca or something
And then
like that.
she
They
ended
call
up
the
at the
little white
end and she
girl.
said, I'm Peach.
She's Peach. She's like, she took her arm and she put it up against a piece of paper and was like,
She was like,
this
does
is
this look
white.
like this to
This
you?
is not white. This does
Mm-hmm.
not look like this. Yeah. And so the video got taken down for racist behavior, it said.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the little girl was just like, no, I'm Peach. I'm not
Yeah.
white, I'm Peach. But like the
Because they're
image
looking
that
at it
we
from a simple child's point of view. Like,
mhm.
you done taught me these colors, and I don't look like this color that you're calling me. You taught me what white looks like. That's not what my skin looks like.
She's like, I'm Peach. But it's like, friend, it's something that does actually start in the house. Like it's perpetuated from home.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
just like what Jennifer Lewis said, where she dealt with that when she was a child, where they told her to stay outdoors while her lighter cousins were able to come inside. It's like you learn at home your separation, be it audibly or be it, have a good one. Oh, good evening. You're saying hi. Sorry, two
Hey.
Darlas got confused. I thought she was saying good night.
Uh-huh.
Oh, different Darla. So that is fun. It's a different Darla for real.
No, it
Um,
is. It's not. Same one. One was on YouTube. Then she came back on Facebook.
Oh, okay. Hey,
There's a
all right.
different name on Facebook than YouTube. Yeah.
But yeah, that does start at home. Like, when you're being treated differently. Now, you may not always understand why
Mm,
you're treated differently, and you may come to your own conclusion of
yeah.
why you're treated differently, but kids be knowing.
Mm-hmm.
Kids be knowing, because for her to carry that story into her older age, because she's not very young, so for her to carry that into her older age, that says something.
Yeah.
That says something. And it
Mm-hmm.
also says colorism is prevalent in societies, countries with a history of privilege and power. So, like I was explaining with the light skinned slaves being inside and the dark skinned slaves being outside, it's got a significant impact on individual self esteem and mental health as darker skinned individuals experience feelings of inferiority and discrimination.
And it's so sad and it's so stupid because honestly, if the KKK came through here, they killing all of us.
Period.
Every shade of us.
All of us.
Mm-hmm.
50 Shades of Brown laid
Mm-hmm.
out. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, the halfway browns, the whole way browns, the all
Mm-hmm.
the way browns, all of us is
Mm-hmm.
gone.
Yep.
And it's like they're disgusted by us equally. And
And,
that's
and
just
just
what it
like I
is.
said, like you can have the same mother and father. My children have the same mother and father, and they are all a different shade of brown.
My
And we all
siblings and I are all different shades of brown.
exactly now the faces definitely got copied and pasted, but but the shades are different.
Yeah, that's facts. It's like we're all in my house, we're all different shades too. Like, my dad is darker, my mom is like medium color. I'm probably
Mm-hmm.
closer to my mom's complexion, and then like I have a brother that might be closer to my dad's complexion. Then my
Yeah.
other brother that's awkwardly in the middle, a shade darker or two shades darker than me. You know, and so
Yeah.
it's like to look at all of us and all of our different complexions. Like, I really, when I started putting the little notes together, when I started putting it in there and I looked at some of the facts and
Mm-hmm.
statistics, I was like, shoot, because I called one of my nephews, I called him a glowworm.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because he's super light
I
skinned
definitely used to call my nephew a glowworm, but I never called him that when he was old enough to
to
know that
understand.
I would say it about him, not to him. Like
Mm.
he wasn't around when I would say it.
Like, I'd be like, my nephew glows in the dark, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Or he's a
Mm-hmm.
magic baby. It is what
Mm-hmm.
it is, you know? And
Oh, I
so,
know what nephew you talking about because I remember I went to your brother and said, "Oh, I heard you had a white baby."
oh no,
Yeah, that's a
friend.
bright baby. That's a bright baby. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, him bright, bright.
Mm-hmm.
But what's hilarious is his face is my father's face,
Yes, it
and
is.
they're on two opposite ends of the color spectrum. So
Mm-hmm.
his whole face is my dad's face,
Yeah.
but yet he is like this.
Yeah.
Okay, no joke.
But dad is like Fenty 460 and he's like Fenty 120.
Right. So it does perpetuate harmful beauty standards where light skin often seen as the ideal beauty standard. Y'all, that has to do with us trying to connect with these European standards of
It really
beauty.
do because
Light hair, light skin, light
I'm gonna
eyes.
sound real messed up, right? I'm not even
Uh-oh.
never mind. I'm not gonna say
Nope, say it.
it sounds too
Don't get
bad. It
started.
sounds too
Say it.
bad, but
Just say it.
I'm gonna say it like this. In every shade that we come in, you got cute and you got ugly. So and you got everybody in between. So and I'm not the type of person I find beauty in everybody. And that's um a little bit of a flaw. Cause sometimes I might look back and be like, "Oh, child, that wasn't the best look." But anyway, uh, but I can find beauty in anybody. But sometimes I don't know when people be like, "Oh my God, she's so pretty," and I look at somebody and I'm like, "What's pretty about her?" And that was kind of when I started it happened when I moved here when I realized the colorism because people would say certain people were pretty and I knew doggone well these good glasses I paid good money for these glasses. I'm like that girl is not pretty. What is pretty about her? I'd be like she got some nice hair. It's healthy. It's thick. It's long. But that face, I don't
Yeah,
know.
it was something
Or
about,
that body, I'd be
say,
like that body, So
I
what
will
is
say that
pretty
the
about it? And it
oh,
would
not white
literally would
girls.
be, huh? Yeah, it would literally be because they got light eyes and light skin, and I'd be like, bro,
Yeah, people, I can definitely say that likewise to seeing the negativity toward the darker skinned kids, the light skinned kids definitely had privilege. So on TikTok, there's a girl having a conversation right now. Well, not right now, probably like a week ago, and she was talking about how light skinned people are screaming colorism. They're like, "Oh, you're mistreating me because I'm light skinned," and then their argument is the dark skinned girls, they want to be us so bad that they're saying these things. So
Mm-hmm.
why would a dark skinned girl want to be you? Dark skinned girls are not saying light skinned girls want to be them.
Mm-mm.
They're saying that light skinned girls are mistreating them or writing them, counting them out.
Or I think the narrative, like back in the day, was like you're trying to be white,
Mm.
because it wasn't so much that you just had light skin. It was like you had light skin, so now you got to get long hair, and then you'd wear contacts. Or I had a client, and I tell you, all of these things is things I just wasn't. I was younger when I lived up north, so I probably just didn't pay attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
So when I came down here, I was a little older and starting to realize things in life. I came here at 25. So yeah, that's around the age when you start paying attention. And so one of my clients, and she wasn't even dark. She might have been maybe a shade lighter than me. And she always would want like blonde hair. And to me, it just looked ghetto on her. But she was ghetto, for lack of a better term for her. But I said one day I finally asked. I said, "Girl, they got other colors. Why you always coming here with this 613 and it's 27? If you know, you know." And she finally tells me, she was like, "It makes my skin look lighter." And I said, "No, it don't. It make your hair look lighter." I'm like, "You still the same color."
Girl,
But maybe
everything about that makes you look darker. If you put light up
she
against dark, it looks darker, whether
But
it's light skin
she
dark or
wasn't dark.
not.
She wasn't dark though. Like I said, she was like my color. And she really felt like when she put the blonde hair in, or it made her appear lighter. So I remember asking her, like, "Well, why do you want to appear lighter?" And it was like, I don't think nobody ever asked her that. Because you would have thought I asked her to solve world hunger. Because she just kind of paused and she said, "Well, I don't know." And then I said, "Girl, you could wear different colors. Let's try a different color next time." And so she was like, "Okay." And then we just kept talking and she kept bringing it back up. So I could tell I struck a nerve, because and she never thought about it. She said, "I don't know why. I think my mom kind of told me one day that, oh, I look pretty with it." And then I realized she felt like it made her look lighter. And I just kept going, "Well, what is the benefit of looking lighter?" Girl,
What
that light
is the
skin girl
benefit?
cute and broke just like you. Y'all in the same welfare line hating on each other. What? Y'all trying to
Yeah,
get the same cheesesteak with a man writing darky on the paper. So what you being jealous of?
that part.
He
So,
wrote
friend, the
darky
final
on hers and darkest on yours.
So, friend, the final point that comes up under colorism is addressing colorism requires acknowledging and challenging our own biases and actively working toward promoting inclusivity and diversity in all aspects of society.
As it should be
I
anyway.
should be
Like, it's like one
facts.
of these things we got to keep saying that we shouldn't have to say.
I feel like if we got to talk to people on the outside, you get what I'm saying
Yeah, but
about,
within our own
and
community,
but
we
in our
shouldn't have.
community, it should not be an argument. Like accepting color should not be an argument.
Mm-hmm.
Like we got bigger things to argue about. Like why are y'all still setting off fireworks and the 4th of July was 3 weeks ago? You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying? Or 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
We got bigger things to discuss
Yeah.
than her being a shade lighter than me or a
Mm-hmm.
shade darker than me. There's
Mm-hmm.
so much bigger arguments. So of course, we don't like to step out on heavy notes. We like to try to lighten it up a little bit. So we're gonna let you all know a few of the things that you can do. And that I was looking at some of these points and I was like, bruh, I want to make sure that I keep myself aware. You get
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So number one, ways that you can make an impact on colorism, and colorism is all we can affect because I could care less what anybody else has to say, but by definition, black people just aren't racist. However, colorist indeed. All right. Like we
Mm-hmm.
are absolutely segregating based on color, and it's a big problem.
Yeah.
Like it's the secondary pandemic, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you educate yourself, read books. And this goes to more than just melanated people, honey. Do not ask me about the theory on being black. I am not here for it. So read books, articles, and watch documentaries about racism and increase your understanding of the issue as well as its impact on society. Not just simply listening to podcasts, not just simply looking at social media, because social media is a distorted perception
Very
of
much
what's
so.
going on. And
Please know that. Very distorted.
yeah, it's a distorted perception. Like, do not, I'm not going to even say abide by the news because the news be talking that junk too.
Mm-hmm.
Just what it is. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you speak up. You see it going on, see something, say something. And that's probably the oldest phrase ever.
Yep.
See something, say something. Challenge racist attitudes. You see somebody saying, oh no, she can't run with us or she's not going to fit for the image
Mm-hmm.
we're trying to portray. Why? Because she
Why?
dark skinned?
Why? Please explain to me why. Exactly why.
Yeah. Make sure you're listening to other people around you. I'm telling you, listen to experience of people who have experienced racism and be open to learning from them. And remember, this is
And
not just for us;
I feel like
it's
this
for
one
them
is for
too.
them. I feel like that one is for them. Like you don't have to ask me. You just need to pay attention and listen. You'll see it. You'll hear it.
Right. For example,
Just like I said for me, like I didn't never see it, but then when I started to come around and I'm like, oh, I see what's going down here, you know?
right. Like how Darlene McCoy said at the beginning of her initial video, where she said she's relatively light skinned because she is. She's light skinned with blonde hair, you
Mm,
know, and so she's relatively light skinned. And to be called darky, are you kidding? You get what I'm saying? Be fully aware. Do not discount just because she's light skinned and she was called darky.
mm-hmm.
It is, you should be equally as offended
Yes.
that somebody had the nerve
Mm-hmm.
to say that to her. So you want to be sure that you're speaking up and challenging these behaviors, as well as listening to the plights and struggles of other people. Make
Mm-hmm.
sure that you're getting involved, and that does not necessarily include racism. You can volunteer with different, not racism, sorry, violence. Um,
Mm-hmm.
does not include violence. You can volunteer with different organizations that work to combat racism and support marginalized communities,
Yeah.
and that means communities of color, y'all.
Yeah.
And that's any shade of color.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say communities of color, it's not just these people. It's not just these people. It's everybody in between.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Be sure you support businesses owned by people of color. And the thing that irks my soul is I did see a TikTok where this lady was talking about if it said a black owned business, she ain't shopping there. Because you shouldn't have to identify that you're a black owned business. You should have a quality product.
Yeah, that's somebody who's in denial of the
It was her.
ethical. Yeah,
It was
she's
her.
in denial
It
of
wasn't her.
ethical.
It was her.
And then that's fine. She can go ahead and shop. Nobody cares.
You want to hit the next one, Fred?
You
You want to
don't
hit the next
care.
one? Point number 6.
Vote. Vote. Like I think about Florida right now, and if you don't know, just Google Florida DeSantis. Just the crap that is going on right now in this state and the laws that are being passed, like it just feels like we're going back in time. And it's like everybody was so like, I'm not voting, your vote don't matter. Do you see it now? Do you see why your vote mattered? Now, granted, we had two crappy candidates for governor. I mean, both of them were just god awful trash. They really were. It was really sad. But I'm like, I don't know if this man, if Florida slept with his ex-girlfriend and he just mad at it. Because the laws that are being, what was the last one was it's illegal to feed homeless people. It's illegal to feed homeless people. Who the heck are you helping and or hurting by feeding homeless people?
Oh, you're
What
helping
is
everyone. You're hurting nobody.
what is this law even for other than to irritate people?
Friend, it's kind of like the situation where they say don't feed the animals when you go to the zoo. It's literally reducing human beings to nothing.
That
Like
it's not
they're
even that
saying,
because sometimes there's a reason they tell you don't feed the animals because they don't know what you're feeding the animals and they make money off of those animals, so they don't want to risk you sick, making the animals sick or poison. Also, too, if you feed them something that will adversely change their demeanor and they might want to attack you, I get that in the zoo. But
Okay,
these are
maybe I shouldn't have
human
said the
beings.
zoo. Like when you're out in the wild, so it'll say like don't feed the alligators or don't feed the ducks or don't feed these animals when you're in the woods. And the reason they're saying that is because it then makes them feel like it's okay to approach things that look like you, which would be other humans,
Yes.
because you provided them nourishment. They're literally reducing the homeless people to the animals in the wild because they're like, oh, the crime rates are increasing, and this is the thoughts that they're having. I'm telling you because I live in Georgia. So
Yeah.
they're saying basically that these people that are being given the food, they're ambushing people looking for food. Like you're reducing them to animals. I'm gonna tell you right here and right now
Mm,
that if somebody was going to attack you, a cheeseburger won't make them do it.
yeah. And then it's like, so now what are you gonna do? Are you trying to starve him out? So now we
Right.
have dead bodies laying around rather than live ones?
Thank you.
I don't understand. I don't understand. There was a place in South Florida. This man owns a restaurant. He's 90 years old. At the close of every day, whatever food he has left, he puts the table out and he feeds the homeless people in the neighborhood. Do you know the police were there to stop him from doing that last week? Like
Yeah.
all this food just sitting here, and you telling me I can't just give it to people? Yeah, disgusting. Mm,
You're gonna
yeah.
have to read number 7, friend,
Number
because
7 says diversify your social circle. Now, we have a tendency to hang and be around people who are most like us.
who
I
match
am
your
here
foundation?
I am here. Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like, we tend to have that, and it's like an unspoken thing where like you feel like I know that because we, like you said, use the same foundation, we probably would get along. But I am here to tell you that there are people in other ethnic groups that are more like you than you think. So diversify your circle, make an effort to build relationships with people of different racial and ethnic backgrounds. Easier said than done, but
Mm-hmm.
that just says to make sure you have an open mind about it, about becoming friends with somebody who may not seem like they fit into what you're used to being around.
Right.
Mm,
Even if you're one of those people who your friends all look like you, they're the same complexion as you. Get you a couple light skinned friends and a couple of extra dark
I'm
skinned
I'm
friends.
not doing that with you.
You get what I'm saying? Get you a couple of friends that don't look like you. I'm telling you,
But
like for real, for real.
you can't force it. But I'm saying like if it presents itself, don't be against
Don't
it.
shy away. Don't be like,
Yes.
oh, she won't shut up her old light skin.
Yeah.
Like, don't do that. She tried to dominate the conversation because she light skin.
Speaking of light skin, did you hear they was talking, this guy goes on TikTok and he goes on a rant. He was like, yeah, cause see that was you acting real light skin. You done sent light skin brothers back. Kiki Palmer boyfriend. Kiki
Oh, girl,
Kiki
we
Palmer
should have
baby
discussed
daddy.
that. We should have talked about
You
that.
talking
I'm
about
gonna
that?
leave that on the tip of their
That's
tongue before we
that's a
leave
whole
today.
that's a whole nother
We
thing.
should talk
But
about
yeah,
that next week.
basically what he was saying, what the other guy in the video who was of a lighter brown complexion too, he's like, man, you done set us back so far. You up there in your feelings, being all emotional. You could have called her and been emotional, sent her some text, and then you gonna go on social media.
We're gonna talk about that next week. How much input does your partner have in the way you live your life? I would love for us to
You
talk
have to
about
have
that.
a permit to give people food.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. Florida you got to have a permit and a license for every doggone thing here.
Because they want that money, honey.
Yeah,
You
that's
think they legalized
crazy.
marijuana just because
No, and
they
I told
wanted
you I
that
was always
money,
against
honey?
that. That's an episode 2. Avoid stereotypes. Let's wrap it up because we passed our time.
Come on.
Avoid stereotypes. Challenge your own biases. Avoid making assumptions based on somebody's race or color or ethnicity. And keep learning. Racism is a complex issue, and it really isn't. We should have a whole episode just because racist. They made it up. It was something that was made up. First of all, everything is something that somebody made up. But
No.
race was definitely made up just so we could be the people that we're trying to talk about not to be. You could be sued if someone claims that your food make you sick. Who the homeless people suing people?
Ho, Oh, friend, they are doing more than you think they are. But like you said, when we were starting to talk about this subject, this
Mm-hmm.
might need a part two. I'm not promising it'll be next week. But
Mm-hmm.
y'all, we're going to definitely bring this back around because this is something that is plaguing our society, impacting our community, and adversely affecting each and every one of us in some way or other. So
Mm-hmm.
please make sure that you make it your goal, your purpose, your job, your responsibility to focus in on the places you can make an impact. And I don't mean shaking stuff up in a bad way. I
Mm-hmm.
mean making an impact to make a change and just make somebody's life a little bit better than it was before they met you. So, friend, is there anything you want to share with the people before we go?
No, ma'am.
Y'all already know we love you, and we'll see you next week, okay? Right here, same place, same channel, right on the Melanin Mindset. Peace, y'all.